Yet another absolutely immaculate day for the unemployed here, as we have the content deputy coming from iDubbbz. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was coming after how horrendously the content cop was bashed online in the last couple of days. How long has it been? Like a week and a half? And it's been detrimental to that man. So here it is. Let's get right into it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Content.
Not even a opening skit, no sort of comedy in this one. He's fully sent into breadtube mindset where nothing needs to be funny and nothing needs to be cool. He can't do both at the same time. He's completely lost himself.
Deputy. Now normally in a content deputy I would dance around in my cop outfit in the woods, but this video isn't going to have any of that fanfare. We're just going to get straight into it.
Because you're lazy. Because you stink, dude. You don't have the juice anymore. You can't even make a real content cop anymore. You didn't wear the cop outfit for the whole video. You didn't do anything.
I was hoping that if I made a video about Ethan, he would act like an adult and he would keep the attacks directed at me and Anissa. Unfortunately, I was wrong in thinking that, because Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anissa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
Your charity event hasn't been a charity event in 3 years. Your charity event hasn't donated to charity during the event since the first one. You fail at charity, it stops being a charity event. Plus, it was described, a clip that was resurfaced from the H3 podcast, where iDubbbz himself says it's an event with a charity aspect. Calling it hiding behind the shell of a charity event is cowardly, absolutely weak-willed, very naughty move there, because this is not a charity event and it won't raise charity this year. Have you seen that seating arrangement? Have you seen the amount of seats that are empty still? You're not going to sell that in 2 months.
I don't know if you know this, but the last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity, son. You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
Ethan and Hila are well aware that we raised $1.3 million for charity the first year of Creator Clash. The second year we operated at a loss, and I take full responsibility for that. We did band together. The community and the fighters involved ended up raising $175,000 for charity. It's been really disheartening to see how often Ethan will attack Creator Clash through us, or attack us through Creator Clash.
Ian and Anissa mastered.
It's because you guys have run it, been the face of it, and claimed all the glory, but not been able to actually take on the criticisms on yourself that it's taken. Every time, you're going to try and get away from it, but also hold on to it. You're attacking charity. Don't criticize that. But then the second you get criticized for something else, you're like, but we do charity. But it's ridiculous.
Of putting on an event.
He's reposting random troll accounts that are very easy to vet. If you click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde
based
adjacent posts, and it just hates Anissa and I. Come on, dude, you're one step away from calling me a cuck. Just take
You're a cuck.
the plunge. He's highlighting this post that equates Creator Clash to a crypto rug pull. He's saying the event is going to be worse than TanaCon. Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event.
I mean, you're directly blaming them preemptively for your failed event. How about you take it upon yourself to realize that you've done a terrible job at running this event?
Don't worry, Hila. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you.
But you're indirectly blaming them by bringing that up and saying that he's attacking a charity event. You've already enraged the people that are watching this without any sort of filter, and they go, he's attacking a charity event. But then you go, don't worry, I'm not blaming you for that, after you've already blamed them for attacking charity.
You're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
No, the internet blames you.
Now, with this recent revelation that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I, Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous 2 events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, I think just going to be known as the founder.
So directly after doing everything you could to nosedive the event, chasing away 2 of your fighters, not even fighting in it yourself, you're just going to walk away hands up and say, hey, we didn't run this one. When it crashes and burns into the ground, you're going to leave your event organizers, who also organized the failed charity event last time, and you're just going to put your hands up and leave it in their hands to scramble and try and fix this mess. You think that's going to bring Harley back? You think that's going to bring Lena back? That's not the point. The point wasn't that they were boycotting the charity. They were boycotting you, and this is still your event. You're saying it right now. You're going to be remembered as a founder for, like, this still has the iDubbbz seal upon it. The iDubbbz Johma seal upon it.
Of the event. Yeah, I mean, I think it had to come to this eventually. I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't, I can. I just didn't want to. I want to be frank. I want to be honest. I was very...
That's a very stark difference from what we're used to right now.
Quiet during the second Creator Clash because I was afraid of how that would impact other people. This year I said...
So quiet you didn't even advertise the event. Nobody was even preying on the downfall of that event, and it failed.
I'm going to do something different.
You're not doing anything was too overboard, and now you've gone in the complete opposite direction where you do something, but instead of doing something beneficial, which is what everyone wanted you to do, you did something completely negative for the event.
I'm going to fight back if someone's trying to attack me. So that's what I did. And now I've realized, like, I can't really have my cake and eat it too. It's either you're going to talk shit like a foul beast on the internet, or you're going to have a charity event. It really can't be both. I'm very proud of...
It really shouldn't be both, and you're still... This doesn't absolve you of every ounce of blame you hold for what's going to happen at Creator Clash 3.
The event that we made with Creator Clash, it's still happening, June 28th. I'm just not going to be involved in it. Please.
Are you even going to be there? You're not even fighting. Is there any point? Are you just going to get a seat up in the risers that you can't even buy tickets for anymore because it's not selling? You're just going to be sitting up there at the upper bowl just watching down on your failures?
Please, for the love of God, support this event. I feel like in some ways I'm...
Just donate to real charity if you really care. This money is not going to go to charity. This money is going to go into the pocket of fucking LA Beast, and all power to him, but this is not a charity event. Don't let it be given the cover of that.
That I'm like cutting off an arm so that I could escape the bear trap, and so I can fight. Well, that's a bad analogy. You guys get it. We've already told all the fighters, and it seems like most people understand that this is the best move. If the previous content cop was entertaining to you, or this video is entertaining, or you like the message, the best thing that...
Who's gonna like this? You made a pretty crappy video, a piece of shit video where you dogged on your long-term friend and used a lot of poor evidence, and now you're doubling down on it because everybody's talking shit about how bad of a video it was.
What you can do for me is to support Creator Clash. Buy a ticket, buy a pay-per-view ticket, an in-person ticket, or donate to the fundraiser. I just want to see this event do well. I didn't try this shit because I thought I was going to be a good boxer. I didn't think I would be an awesome event organizer. And now I'm finally back to where I started, which is...
Yeah, you were bad at all of it. You sucked at every single part of it.
Making fucking content cop videos.
You can't even do that anymore. You can't do any of it. You've lost every ounce of your juice. You can't do what you tried to do, and when you try to double back to what you used to be able to do, you can't do that either. Because your last name's Johma.
I don't want to make this too ham-fisted, but I kind of do want to make it ham-fisted, because I'm like, I spent my last fucking 4 years working on this stupid boxing shit. I mean, it was worth it, absolutely, but like, it's crazy that I've just returned to content cop. Having said all that, Creator Clash ticket link down in the description. Go check it out, buy tickets, support the charity, support the fighters, and have a good-ass time. I mean, ultimately, I
I'll have a good-ass time sitting at home watching all the reactions to how terrible it does.
think it's a good thing because I think I am meant to roll around in shit. I think me and Ethan are both meant to be rolling around in pig shit all day long, and other people are meant to do boxing or debating or whatever else. Ethan and me, pig shit rolling around type of fellas.
You underestimate my strength! I've got kosher strength! The will of Allah! I mean Yahweh! Yahweh!
I think the worst criticisms I label
Back when your videos were funny. I mean, it's pretty sad to see. It's pretty terrible to see what used to be, what once was a good video. Dude, I rewatched legit food review sewer pickles or dill pickles, and as much as the humor doesn't super hold up, at least it was effortful. He swam through dirty sewer water in his boxers and walked around and sat in that still water. It was effortful, at least.
I think the worst criticisms I labeled at Ethan is that he's a bad boss, a tyrant of a boss. I just implied that he was being taken advantage of by people.
Why are you still attacking his crew? Like, his crew, while watching the video, they were all in support of him. They work for him for a reason. They could get other jobs. They are at will employed people. Like, it's not like they're enlisted. It's not like they're gonna go to prison if they don't work there anymore. That seems pretty stupid, don't you think? A boss is gonna be a boss. He's gonna tell his employees what to do, but they don't have to be there. It's their choice.
People either in his community or outside of his community, and I call them a bitch-made coward. That was like the summary of personal insults labeled at Ethan. Before Ethan even knew what my video was about, he was already framing me as anti-Semitic.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I'm one of you.
You don't directly say it at all in your video, but it's all centered around the controversy he's been in for the last 2 years with the Hassan Piker community that you openly are a part of now. Like, use your own silence as the message. Your silence means something, Ian, and that's indirectly what you meant.
I fucking hate Jews too.
Purely by your associations.
Guys, let's get after it. Israelis have no right to defend themselves, actually. All Israelis are settlers, actually. What is he going to give me a history lesson now? Is he a historian? Yeah, he just discovered empathy, by the way, and only extends to the point where you're actually talking about Jewish people or Israelis. Then empathy stops, and they should all be murdered. Bro's actually out there like Timothy McVeigh. He's running to the closest fucking kindergarten to blow it up. There's a Jew. I heard there's a Jewish.
That's not what Timothy McVeigh did.
They want all you guys to quit, and for me to just be like alone. Little Jew boy alone.
Like, Ethan, under a year ago, was saying he doesn't use anti-Semitism in that way. He's not a guy to call anything and everything anti-Semitic.
You know, in my whole life, I've never screamed foul on anti-Semitism. I literally have been getting this shit since the second I stepped foot on the internet, and I have never fucking ever done this. Okay, so the people online, they're saying, oh, Ethan's making himself a victim, or Ethan's making everything about anti-Semitism. I've done this.
That's before his harassment ramped up to 1,000% because of his ideas on the conflict in the Middle East, which I don't give a fuck about. I give a fuck about how funny it is that you look stupid right now. And in saying all of this, in making this video, you say that you and Ethan should stay rolling around in the slop. You're getting into this. It's so thinly veiled how you're hiding behind the pretense of internet drama when you are making a stance, and it's really annoying.
Once in my life right now.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I mean, I get that he's scared and offended, but this was the whole fucking point of my video, Ethan. I was saying that you shouldn't be doing this. It led to me making this video in the first place. You were triggered by this CPS harassment thing, and then...
Dude, the gold tooth sucks so bad. Just get a normal crown, man. It's not cool.
You immediately equated Anissa and I to it. That was sloppy, and that was horrendous, and it was horrendous for us. And now you're doing it again.
I'm gonna watch it live.
Should you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But like, why?
I just don't think. I feel like you're gonna get really emotional and say something you regret.
Well, I've got the button.
Like, I know you don't have a problem taking it head on, but I just feel
Of course not, because I know that
you're
whenever-
understandably upset. And I feel-
This is like framing Ethan as being emotional and his crew being like tense around him and realizing he's unhinged. But why else would Dan be in the position that he's in if not he is happy to be there to moderate Ethan? Like, people enjoy Ethan's content because he has an unfiltered air to him, where he doesn't seem like he's talking through a teleprompter and he's saying funny, crazy shit sometimes. And that's the comedy aspect that people are still able to appreciate about what he's talking about. And Dan and the rest of the crew and the button are all just accents on that to help facilitate a good piece of content.
I feel like it might be a little.
We wait to talk about it, or you want to talk about it?
You should do it off stream. Because I don't know, this escalated initially because we were live and you guys were heated about I forget what it was.
I just think it might be wise to watch it, think out your thoughts, and respond in a calm way. Because there's no chance that you don't get heated.
I don't need to fucking pre-watch this. I don't need someone else to hold my hand through it. Like, I'm ready to take on anything that these people have to say about me. He's like, no, actually, eat.
And this is like that's exactly why he did it while he was emotional and while it was new and while it was fresh, is the deeper criticism of Hassan for not watching the content nuke unfiltered, alone, with no pretense and no person there to guide him through the video and give him talking points. Because he's proving a point.
Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys. I'm one of you. I fucking hate Jews too, guys.
You attacked us, so I attacked back, and now you're acting surprised and shocked, and you're doing it all on your podcast live. So naturally, you reacting live is you having an emotional reaction and seeing things that honestly are scary.
I just said I vented about them not defending me. What the fuck is he like? He's actually losing his shit and I just can't believe it, dude.
Should you call him up?
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. Fair weather friends who are so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Venting, as in right after his house had a CPS officer show up, hours afterwards.
Ian sucks for the same reason right now. He could say something.
Spineless. Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What's very insane about this content cop is I was thinking about Ethan's feelings so much.
You were not, dude. The entire video is framed as a hit piece. And then at the very end, the last hour, when the psychiatrist guy doesn't change Ethan's grade on his apology, you reframe the whole thing with the last second, throwing in the compliments from everyone. That's it. None of this was framed as a heartfelt piece. This was a hit piece from the beginning, and you had to reframe it at the very end, scramble, because you didn't get the last puzzle piece that would have been the nail in the coffin for you to bury him and laugh while dancing on his grave. Like, it's just not true. Everybody knows it. Sean the Black didn't even want to say the nice thing. Hassan didn't have a nice thing to say. Frogan had to write a script. It was all fake. None of it was even genuine. So that's not true. This wasn't coming from a point of compassion on your end. This was a just as emotional of a rebuttal, but in an edited form, as what Ethan's been doing.
In that video, I thought about the idea of like how I shouldn't be saying the term Zionist or Zionism in that video, because I was like, he has explained before that that's personally insulting to him and he doesn't like that. You know, regardless of how true it is, I was like, I'm going to think about Ethan's feelings and not mention this. Fast forward to him reacting to my video, he's just outright calling me a fucking Nazi.
Is it a coincidence that Ian really shaped?
Dude, everyone knows how bad the look of the swastika sword is. It's ridiculous to keep denying it.
shaved his head just before doing this video, and he's holding a swastika one. I mean, we can free Palestine without being a Nazi. You fucking Nazis. How about that?
Dude, can you even, like, it's been litigated so much over those last 2 weeks. It's downright obvious. Hassan didn't even have a real denial for that during the debate the other day. It's just a moot point. It's over.
Well, this is the white savior, Ian, who's just found empathy, unless you're Jewish, of course.
Ethan, people are allowed to shave their head and not be called anti-Semitic. I mean, if you're going to critique his podcast or be pissed off that he personally insulted you, even that is enough to be called anti-Semitic. It's fucking crazy. Now, I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword. I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword hilt because Ethan himself basically admitted already multiple times he doesn't think any of us did that intentionally. And he would be right.
Do I think any of them actually like wanted to put a swastika in the photo? No,
Yeah,
that's no. I don't actually think that. The chances that they did on purpose is close to zero, right? So I'm not accusing them.
I picked up a random sword in Hassan's room that was laying around. That could be the end of the discussion. You don't actually need to debate Hassan about the sword hilt.
He left it up.
Decision-making
If
of
it
a
was a mistake,
person
he could have
who I
deleted
am
it.
not.
But I'm not going to delete the photo because that would be indulging in your weird anti-Semitic fantasies.
We can free Palestine without being.
Or you could just delete it and say, hey, that looks bad. It's not a good look. Let's just forget it and move on. Sorry, my bad. It looks weird.
A Nazi. You fucking
It's as easy as that.
Nazis. How about that?
I'm done being nice to Ethan. I gave it a chance. My sincerity and my empathy in that last video was real. I was even equating to him having crash out moments in the same way that denims could have crash out moments. I think we're all capable of it, but he was using it in the video to suggest that I was making fun of his mental health.
To my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help. Dude, I'm not making fun of your mental health. Every example you used was me basically saying that other people are trying to affect you. It's understandable that you're going through this right now, Ethan. We all go through this.
To characterize.
Yeah, but it's still the whole, like, narrative that over the last 2 years it's all been one continuous crash out is what has done all the crazy making of Ethan. Everything that, like, people have been framing it that Ethan's going crazy or has gone crazy. He's just defending one point and has gotten constant shit for it. So he has to constantly repeat himself as to what he means in his point. And it causes him to look crazy because people are harassing him over it.
Anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing.
Every fucking example that you tried to smear me with was me actually pointing to something else that could be affecting you. He even brought up the clip of me saying, if you get...
Yeah, but you tried to frame it like he's getting fed information from H3 Snark or like from Destiny subreddit or something. Every time you were like showing an example of somebody trying to get to him, it was also incriminating him and where his information's coming from, saying that he makes his crew bring him information that'll make him mad, saying that he's scrolling through Instagram or Reddit all day looking for shit to make him mad. Like, that's also making it seem like he's crazy. You're framing it in a way deliberately to prove your point while also looking like you're being nice, like you're thinking of his mental health when you're not. You're just trying to discredit his sources while also proving that he's going crazy.
Help. We all need help. Everyone on this planet needs help. I don't care how you get it.
Ian, you need help. Not everyone on this planet needs help. Everyone on this planet needs to be able to sleep at night in their home with their children and not worry about what's coming in the morning if somebody's going to come take them away. You need help. Not everyone.
You can wander into the jungle and go on an ayahuasca trip. I don't care.
You cried because your wife is a bitch online and she gets shit for it. And you cried to a psychiatrist that you tried to get to use to flame Ethan.
how you get your help or what you define as help. But if it helps you, that would be good. Because right now it doesn't seem like you're getting much help. The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Hila is that I didn't mention the CPS call.
Not once, which is a huge point in everything they said about you.
There's really just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time.
There was not even one mention of CPS.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS
yeah,
came to us.
so, like,
without
for a lot of
without
it-
even explaining that at least that's the context, it's pretty cowardly.
I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me? And I didn't have any chance to defend myself. You just immediately, in the same podcast, right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic. And then you said, fuck Ian and Anissa. And you linked those together, you kind of layered those flavors.
Do you think they happened during the podcast? Do you think in that same frame where there's the two breaks in the video, you think from the CPS call to Ian and Anissa, you think that's when the call happened? It happened that morning. They posted about it. There was plenty of opportunities where it was linked. Everything was linked together between you, Froggy, whatever the fuck, and everything else. And there was ample time between then for you to say anything, to make any sort of one tweet. Don't call CPS. Nobody should ever have CPS called on them between the AM to like their 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. podcast, and you didn't do it. You made you used your silence to say something.
And then Anissa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call. What are all these fucking comments on your Reddit saying, like, it happened because of the CPS call? I don't entirely blame your audience for getting confused, because number one, it's a fucking cult, and number two, you can't even get the timeline straight.
Dude, you're calling H3 subreddit a cult when you're grabbing snark fucking talking points? Like, I don't care either way. I don't actually like either side in this. I don't think, I mean, I'm defending Ethan only because it went too far. It was insane. It went too far, and I hate Hassan. So that's the only point of bias I've got.
Right? So if anyone's watching your dumbass, their brain is also going to get scrambled.
Be friends as long as they're getting something out of it. So again, he's not showing the context. What was the okay, I'll play this part. Did you guys ever find the context of what I was talking about here? Because I feel like I wasn't even talking about him. I could be wrong. I just don't remember ever saying, like, if I did say that.
He said you were willing to be friends while you were getting something out of it, because for years he's been defending you and Anissa ever since the OnlyFans and the apologizing for the content cop and gaining empathy at 33 or whatever the fuck. And at every point he's defended you and promoted Creator Clash, which you're calling him an attacker of now. And now the second he needs a little bit of voice of reason, a little bit of vocal support, you're nowhere to be found.
I thought you were talking about them. About Anissa and Ian in that clip.
That's the same clip of
It's all the
when
part of the same
CPS was
clip.
called.
Yeah.
Same clip.
It's part of the same conversation.
You completely wiped your brain of what happened during the CPS stream. That's not my fucking fault. That's no one else's fault but yours.
All I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up. This is not true about CPS.
They weren't attacked. He did muddying the timeline. You attacked us before any CPS visit. It was that morning, and it was public knowledge by the afternoon. You had plenty of time to say anything.
Whatever, like the bare minimum. It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think.
Yeah, you said you didn't say anything. Said you didn't want to get involved after you got shit, because that same day, as it happened hours before, you didn't say anything. And then you still wanted to be like, we're not getting involved. This is crazy. Making it seem like that wasn't just basic human decency to say something when your friend, well, your supposed friend, is getting attacked like that.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called them out.
This is what I was talking about. You cannot have something terrible happen, be like, yes, let's make some content, and then shit talk your friends of 8 years.
Yes, let's make some content over CPS getting called. No, that's them making a public statement, getting as many eyes on it as possible to show how insanely depraved the people that are harassing him are.
I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm crying. I don't know if that's a good state to be in life.
That's that. Elon kind of spitting.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
For anyone confused about the timeline, Ethan was talking shit about us on his Instagram before any CPS shit. He was also talking shit about us on his podcast before any CPS visit. On March 7th, CPS visits Ethan and Hila.
That's not even true. Ethan shits on his Instagram and on his podcast. That's the same day that CPS called them. CPS calling them and showing up, those are both issues. Those are both things that need to be addressed very quickly because they're very pertinent, very timely issues where things can escalate to an extreme point and already had gotten way too extreme before even then.
And that same day, they decide, let's do our podcast. And let's have the topic be the CPS visit and how distraught we are about that. And then right next to that, right after it, you guys talk about me and Anissa. But you don't just talk about us. You shit talk us, and you imply that we're friends with people who are doing this, who are the ones who are harassing you.
You're friends with Denims, Hassan, Frogan, everyone who supports the snark subreddits that perpetrated that call. Because they all follow Bad Empanada. They all listen to what he has to say. And he was the main vocal on video person talking about the terrible, in quotes, terrible living conditions in his household and how it's covered in shit and kids are eating dog turds off the floor, which wasn't true.
Evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say that?
Random anonymous Redditors?
Did I say that?
Wait. What's the...
I said they're primarily responsible for harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So, I don't know.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Hila's defense because when you look into the story, it actually looks a lot shittier for Ethan and Hila. And I do mean that literally. There was this...
They want him to know the name of the person who called CPS and like they're going to post it on Snark saying, I'm the one who did it. I'm the one who did it. As if it wasn't very obvious that the people that hate Ethan are going to be the ones that are maliciously calling to try and get his kids taken away.
H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health. He was talking about his caca breath, his dog having diarrhea, his dog having giardia.
Olive has giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
His child running around putting things in their mouth.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
The whole family possibly having giardia.
Oh,
And now Hila has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
What can I do to not get it? From
I'm trying to.
Because I'm not trying to get it.
No, it's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Talking about the viscosity of his child's shit.
And meanwhile, he is covered in viscous, low viscosity diarrhea.
He mentioned diarrhea a lot.
Crazy diarrheas like in the middle of the night. All the time he's having these crazy diarrheas. You wash your hands as best you can, but these are really nasty diarrheas. And then extremely foul smelling diarrheas.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his...
These people, I let that whole thing play out because all put together, it's really well framed to look like Ethan's family all had giardia and they were all sick. If these are all people who viciously hate him or are fans that are concerned, both of those peoples are going to be constantly watching, constantly paying attention, and then see Ethan confirm that none of his family members had it except for the dog. The one dog had giardia. None of the people had it. He talked about it like the next podcast or the week later, and It was all completely under the water, debunked. None of it happened. The kids weren't putting shit in their mouth. And it's all completely spun in this video to look like Ethan said it, like it came from his own mouth, that it was just true, that it happened without any context of what happened later, where it didn't happen. Nobody was sick. They were sick from something else. They had like a stomach bug, but they didn't have giardia. They didn't have the dog shit eating disease. And it still was just psychotic people using those clips from the past to later on, months later, say, like, call CPS and make these claims.
Children getting giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giard.
Oh, he's putting everything in his mouth. He must be eating crap off the floor, dude. He has to be eating dog shit off the dirty floor covered in dog turds. Every inch of the floor is matted with dog poop laced with giardia.
Yeah.
People are quite reasonably concerned. And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS, including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream. So there are 26,000 people listening to Ethan go into great detail over 7 or 8 minutes about diarrhea, viscosity of diarrhea, his child having giardia, him and his whole family having giardia. They're calling it the poop house. Now what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream, is that he decides to attack specific creators like Denims and say she was the
Did you see CPS mentioned in any of those? Did any of those chats that you cherry picked say, oh, somebody should check on those kids? Those kids are in danger. They were joking about him being yucky because they were all sick.
Source of the CPS call, because her chat was reacting to Ethan and saying, wow, this is concerning.
Is on her platform right now advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services.
The problem with this CPS thing is that Ethan has proven to be a manipulative piece of shit. So when he calls on me to defend him, what the fuck am I meant to do? I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you, because...
You don't trust him, dude? You're the least trustworthy person. You've just backstabbed him. He didn't do anything untrustworthy. He's been consistent in his views and stood up for what he believes in. Something that you could never even imagine, even fathom going through. Couldn't even imagine putting yourself in a tough spot to stand up for what you believe in. Because you're spineless, coward, bitch made.
In your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them.
3 different places. They were all compiled from the chat that is being said in this exact clip. This clip, over the span of 15 minutes, all of these chats are from that time frame, compiled into that text in the middle of the screen.
Make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
Using a bad edit as your proof is not even close to good enough.
Love made a good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were
No, it's
selected.
this, I think when you full screen it, no, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. It's just enlarged
Oh,
there,
really?
over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah.
It's not timed. It's not timed the same way.
But it sounds like based on this clip, you knew that it was bullshit and you just went with it anyway.
But they're from that exact clip. Those aren't chats from like 3 days ago and tomorrow. They're from that moment.
Ethan Klein uses this very deceptively edited video that is just like doing this smooth scroll to make it seem like that's all of Denim's chat.
No, it's just that there was so much chat that it needed to be scrolled.
But that's not what it is.
There was so many comments about CPS being called that it needed to be scrolled upward for you to be able to see them all.
And then when he's called out on it, he hides it. He moves his window over the...
Chat doesn't move. No chat moves like that. They don't load onto the screen like a CRT TV. It's not like that. That's bullshit. It's stupid.
Real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean,
He was just making sure people could see Denim's tits. That's the only reason that he put the camera in the top right.
much
He just wanted that extra retention from it.
Check many other illnesses.
Reading the chat,
It's
co-signing
very,
it.
very, very dangerous.
Now pay attention to her chat.
And bad empanada behind being the actual thing that she's reacting to. An extremist who has called for this, who made this video talking about it, bringing the cherry-picked pieces of evidence forward to make it seem like Ethan Klein's kids are in danger, and these are chats coming from that. This is compiled.
Housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit, and he has kids.
He put it in the top right corner because the live chat isn't what's in focus. This is the edited together pieces of chat that are all talking and saying all these crazy things.
And his kids like,
why does it have to be?
And okay, this is not conceding the point, but even if they were cherry picked from 2 or 3 streams, that's still a lot of comments in her stream saying that she should call CPS, that somebody needs to call CPS. It's still not being moderated, still not being watched, still being endorsed by ignorance.
Anyone else's fault but your own. Take some fucking responsibility. It's just so bizarre that Ethan would expect Anise and I to make a statement when Denims herself already made a statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
So we're talking about CPS. 1, I don't condone. 2, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times, or multiple instances, and I will do it again right now, for not showing photos of his kids.
But you'll watch a video made by a guy who extremely hates Ethan Klein, who made a video pretending to murder his wife, and co-signed that video. But I would never go that far. I would never say that. I would never outwardly say that. I would only let my chat talk about it and laugh about it.
Part of my criticisms of Ethan initially was the openness. I think it's a problem that you were that open, Ethan.
Well, you know I'm very open about everything. As part of how I wanted to conduct myself and how I wanted to relate to the audience is to be open as possible about every fucking thing in my life.
It is not strictly a benefit to be as open as possible on your podcast.
Ethan was just sharing his thoughts. What we were thinking, we were speculating.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has Giardia.
We were speculating.
Oh,
and now Ela has Giardia.
Shut.
Be open.
You can okay. You're making it seem like somebody who's concerned would hear the speculation, has Giardia, and go, oh, the kid put shit in his mouth because he has Giardia. But then you also, in the same clip, hear him say that Gila has Giardia, and you don't go, wait, is Gila eating shit? Is she eating poop? So this is a complete moot point because you, in the same exact moment, can see that it's not realistic.
As possible about every fucking thing in my life.
Yeah, really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
Yeah, by all means,
compromise your
keep talking
privacy.
about it.
On top of Ethan characterizing me and my wife as anti-Semitic, he also takes a dig at my tattoos.
Bro, you literally look like a fucking free tattoo pack that you get for 25 cents from a windy thing, bro. Like, literally, my kids have cooler fucking tattoos from Chuck E. Cheese.
You know, the next stream, he took it back and was like, you know, I shouldn't go after his tattoos because I have tattoos that people would call crappy. And then followed it up with a joke about saying how your personality is a piece of shit, which was funny. It was a funny joke, something you couldn't even fathom making ever since any time past, 2018? You've just lost all ability. And even though Ethan backed off, your tattoos do look like shit. They look like garbage. Dude, a 6th grader, a fucking 12-year-old who's bored in class could draw that eagle on your chest, you fucking idiot. You dumbass. It looks dumb. Get him lasered off.
Bro looks like he just went to the menu and was like, I'll take that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
I have quite a few options here. I can show your tattoos in all of their glory, or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great execution subreddit, which is not a good thing. I mean, it might be a good thing for the artists that you work with because That means that they did a good job from a technical standpoint, but it's sort of a failure in every other aspect, particularly the decision-making aspect. If you want to go tattoo for tattoo, Ethan, we can do that. You want to keep it to other things?
I think Ian's just jealous that Ethan has a loving wife who doesn't stranglehold him and make him prostrate himself online for the last 6 years.
We can. I'll give you that option. Ethan also talks about the potential CTE that I might have after boxing.
Yes.
Ethan, your whole system is scrambled.
No, your brain is scrambled.
Your eyes are crossed. You look dumb. You look retarded. Your brain is scrambled.
For getting punched in the face too many times because you don't understand the situation. Some people are saying the CTE is starting to take effect, I guess. That would be comforting if there was some explanation, at least.
Any amount of CTE that I may have endured after doing 2 boxing matches, I'm going to say is preferred over having to share the load of doing 50 jumping jacks with my wife.
Yeah, what if we we'll both do 25 at once?
25 each.
Oh my goodness.
Great form by both.
Really nice. They must work out.
Also, why are you talking about CTE at all? Like, you've continually illustrated that you can't keep track of anything.
It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was
Just because you're too scared to do a live broadcast for 4 hours a day, 3 times a week, doesn't mean that somebody who isn't scared of it should be able to have a perfect memory. If you were doing this, you wouldn't be able to remember your fucking toilet paper when you went to wipe your ass. You put your fingers in your butthole. Nothing would be straight with you. Your brain is too scrambled.
that was their response after you guys initially.
And that's why he has the crew there to correct him and let him know what's going on. It's not rocket science. The crew that you're trying to get to all quit and denounce him, yeah, they're there also to help him.
Actually called him out.
He can't even keep straight who attacked who first. He thinks that our podcast where we're expressing sympathy for him and Hila was the impetus for him talking shit about us. I much prefer boxing-induced CTE than harassment-induced CTE. Ethan acts like we're such great friends and that like he shared such intimate moments with me. But it's all horseshit. He's lying. Like, the whole thing is a fucking lie. He's manipulating his audience. We did not have a close relationship.
You guys were buddies for a long time.
He texted me like one time, like, hey, dude, we should talk this out. And I was like, I don't feel like having this conversation right now. That's it? So Ian kept trying to get me on the phone or text with me. And I told him, dude, honestly, I don't feel like having this conversation right now.
Okay.
Fair, right? I just didn't want to do it. Okay?
Just in that particular moment?
And then
or like at all?
Well, it turns out I didn't want to talk to him at all.
Okay.
If the relationship was that close, you would have talked to me on the phone. You wouldn't have shit-talked me. You would be curious where my brain was at and where I was...
Well, you showed where your brain was at, and therefore it doesn't even matter because it showed that there was never going to be a resolution to this. It was always going to be Hassan over Ethan in your mind. You were always going to take your wife's dildo up your ass over being a good friend.
...was coming from. There's this moment in the Content Cop where I'm trying to give an example of the cycle of harassment. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of... Okay, what does that have to do with me?
I don't know.
Are you okay?
Because it's not in a comment section, it's his real life. This isn't two anonymous people squabbling over whether or not the dress was blue and black or white and gold. This is his life. This is him doing his job.
Ethan and Hila act like they have no idea what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, maybe they don't. It's a very obvious and easy to digest point. That's why I made it that way. I'm going to explain it here so everyone on the internet understands. When you have a podcast where you are constantly emotionally dumping and saying things just off the top of your head and you're attacking other people randomly, maybe from your perspective it's not attacking. Maybe you're just commenting on someone else's situation.
He's got to be one of the most visually repulsive people. FaZe Banks, like, in my opinion, he's somewhat repulsive to look at.
And be
pedophile. Pirate Software was like weird about it. It's like, look at my old voice, it's so lame. What an obnoxious loser. She goes, I can't.
Yet again, it's just impossible for Ian to fathom a joke. He just can't imagine saying something witty and funny in the moment anymore. It's completely lost from his mind.
I can't believe these
That got punched out probably during the first Creator Clash because the second one did so poorly.
people are so obnoxious. And he looks like an idiot who's obsessed with me, dude.
But what happens when other people comment on your situation? It doesn't feel too good, does it?
That wasn't a comment. That was a concise, well-orchestrated, edited attack. Like, not even attack. It wasn't a comment. It was you trying to deconstruct everything about Ethan that's bad and throw it up to the forefront so that you could get your licks in, so you could get a couple of views before Creator Clash 3. And it failed because you had to step away because of how poorly it was received and how people did not like it.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking Jew bag. Fuck this Jew bag Zionist baby killer, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
That is the back and forth I'm describing. You might have thought we were just saying that Ian and Anissa are bad friends. Well, guess what? We didn't take it that way.
Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What we took it as is Ethan and Neil are shit-talking us. They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment, and now all of their fans are brigading us. So...
Brigading. You're getting called out. It's not brigading. It's not like Ethan said, hey, everyone watching, all 30,000 people watching, you should go kill them. Kill them now. Do it. Do it. Kill them. No, dude. It's people who were parasocially attached to you guys being upset and taking out on you. I mean, I would never optional, like, of my own volition, choose to go over to the Maximum Damage podcast, me personally. But those who were willing to go wade their way into that cesspool went over there and did that. And those are people who are just as unhinged and just as freakish as the people who are harassing Ethan himself.
Oh, I am going to respond in kind and make a content cop. So yes, that is what the cycle of harassment looks like.
Okay, what does that have to do with me?
I don't know.
You could tell that this content cop was different because this was the first time that the content cop was only created in response, where the content cop wasn't the first attack. The Rice Gum one kinda was, but it's not even like Rice Gum said anything bad about Ian. He basically was just like, oh, he should do it because I know I'm annoying. But this time it was emotionally charged, and you could tell because it was sloppy.
How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
You might think that all of the harassment you're getting has everything to do with your politics and your idea of Israel-Palestine, but a lot of my gripes were centered around you dragging me into your shit. You know, you knew that you were going through a lot, and you were saying, I'm hurting, I'm now going to make them hurt because they're not putting their head on the chopping block. Fuck you, you're a piece of shit. I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that...
Putting their head on the chopping block, meaning speaking out for a friend and saying that their house isn't discussed. Like, you're obfuscating what is really at stake here. You're making it seem like a lot more is at stake for you when it was literally nothing for you to say that.
That are attacking you guys. But they're not me. They're not Anissa. It's not Hassan. It's not all of these other creators that you're attacking. You're not the biggest victim on the internet, Ethan. Other people can experience a whole...
Ian, you are the biggest victim on the internet. Look at yourself. Look in a mirror, dude. You've been turned inside out, upside down, and wrapped around your wife's pinky, your dominatrix's pinky, and turned into some sort of freakish creature after years of abuse. It's honestly terrible.
Horrible fucking time. And guess what? They're not getting this other benefit, which is 26,000 viewers. You're getting a lot of money and a lot of content, a lot of things that you care about from these beefs and from this harassment. There are a lot of people that you've just bullied, and they have nothing to gain out of it. Frogan isn't making a bag from this. She's not getting content out of this.
Yes, she is, dude. Every time she says something retarded, she gets 10,000 extra views on her videos. She gets a couple extra live stream viewers. Those things add up. She says retarded shit so people pay attention. She wouldn't continue to say the most idiotic bullshit like, I hope U.S. Army soldiers get PTSD if it didn't get clicks. She says rage. She creates rage bait for a living. She's literally, her corner of the internet is incite rage bait, collect on it for a couple days, cry about it, collect from the people who didn't get rage bait, who are ready to defend her for no matter what she says, and then recycle. Say something else that's retarded. Say something else that's stupid. Say something else that's inflammatory. She's making money off of this, dude. She doesn't have a job. She does this full time.
You're attacking her in relentless ways and endorsing.
She's fat, dude. That's it. That's the only way she's been attacked, and Ethan doesn't even say that's a good thing. He denounces that.
So much worse harassment than what even you send her way.
The shit he said and posted about Frogan over the past years is like insane.
Tectone's based for all of that. She's a freak. Kill her now. Don't in Minecraft, kill her now. Take all her XP away.
Insanely nasty shit.
Yeah.
Worse than anyone I've seen. If this is true, absolutely mind-blowing, insane shit.
Hold on, it's not worse than anything you've seen. How could it be worse?
I guarantee you Frogan hasn't even been swatted because nobody actually cares about her that much. She does not get the worst harassment. She gets nothing.
Anything you've seen.
She gets called fat by a fat guy. It's not even close to comparable.
Literally, no. I guess
He was
not.
very nasty. Well, I'm just saying, people like fucking want to like get lay down and fucking like.
I'm talking about specifically against Frogan.
But like he called her fat, right, and ugly, which is horrifically mean. I get called a fucking baby killer.
I was talking specifically about
That's way
Frogan.
worse than being called fat and ugly, in my opinion.
Also, on top of Ethan and Neela constantly victimizing themselves, I did notice that as soon as we didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, Ethan took that to heart and he started to make that his employees' problems. Instead of just...
Leave the employees out of it. They've already said they don't want to be a part of this. They're not the ones who are in front of the camera. They're there as the crew. They're there to be support. They're not, the fact that they keep being brought into this and keep being a point of talking for everyone who is against Ethan is on the same level as Mike from PA calling AB a house slave. It's all stupid. It's all just petty attacks trying to get Ethan to be alone and singled out because everyone who's against him hate that he has the resources to pull up clips and get the evidence he needs in a quick, timely manner so that he's able to make retractions in a live format, have nuanced conversations and discussions with people who may not openly agree with him on everything. He's not surrounded by yes men like you are, like you and everyone who you're now being a yes man for are. He allows for discussion. He allows for people to disagree with him.
You know, sucking it up and taking on himself. He decided to imply that Lena is going to have a problem with that.
A lot of this has ramifications for the crew. The way that they have it set up is basically if Lena were to drop out, she would lose, like, she would have to pay back like $25,000 or something like insane. And besides that, which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out, she's been working really hard.
Yeah, this is about the fact that it's a contentious event hosted by somebody who's controversial, and she can't stand in front of the camera because she's not the host and she doesn't want to be in front of the camera. He's speaking out for her and making us, like, not even making a statement, just talking about it.
And just because I'm having an issue with what's going on here,
You bringing up Lena dropping out of the fight was you publicly showing to your fans, like, I don't approve of this. You were saying this shit before the content cop even came out.
Yeah, but every day leading up to that, he would shout out that Lena was training and tell people to go get tickets. Are you leaving that out? Are you leaving out that fact? He was setting up an escape route for her because there was harassment being geared up towards it, and she wasn't exactly favorable because the event was hosted by people who, you people who are in connection with people who harass her boss. Just because she works there, it caused that unease.
which I
Even though he was supportive of her doing it.
told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out.
But now you are saying that you didn't have a problem.
You frame that like it's an idle threat to her that she has to drop out. It's not. It's him giving her an option
with it.
when it seems hopeless.
Any of it. until I made the video.
I was totally on board until the organizer put out a video calling me a psychopath for harassing his friend.
You mean the video that when it was released during the podcast, she ran to the bathroom and had a panic attack because she was so scared of what was going to happen and that she was going to get booed when she went on stage because she works for H3? He's not holding her hostage. He's giving her like the ability to avoid such a terrible circumstance when she walks into your empty arena and hears scattered boos from the upper floor because nobody wanted to buy ringside seats.
Obviously, Ethan and Neela will victimize themselves every chance they get, but when they have the chance to victimize someone else who's on their crew, they'll also do that.
You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her.
Oh, yeah. When he was talking about the promo video of Lena being posted a week after the content cop on her boss and how weird that was, how weird of a timing that would be for her face to be splattered across and associated with the event very inclusively right after a moment that would make her really want to drop out, almost to entice her to stay because, you know, well, we've already made all this promotional material of you and all that, but so it'd really be great if you could stay.
Why would I do such a thing to Lena? Dude, you have as much agency as I do. You didn't have to badmouth me on your podcast. That was a choice that you made.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Yes, go fuck yourself.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
Oh, the organizers of this event are not jumping to my defense? All right, well, maybe instead of shit-talking them, maybe I should zip it.
So go fuck yourself.
Zip it. Shut up about it when people are harassing you and calling CPS on you.
I agree. You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her. By the way,
you're using Content Cop as the framing of the timeline as if the CPS thing and the silence about the flabby, your editor, wasn't also a point of talking at that point. Like there wasn't already tension between you guys before the Content Cop.
iDubbbz, Lena's fucking having a panic attack.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
But you're just lobbing it to me and Anissa. I'm lobbing it back to you. You're the one who brought it up. If you lob it back to me and you say, well, I didn't have your back publicly. Well, fuck you. I'm going to lob it back and say, you're being irresponsible on your podcast and you're not taking any accountability for the shit you're putting out online. I think that's going to do it for this video. There's a lot more that I can share, but I'll save that for the...
And you're just a sheep in the herd now. The man who used to be outspoken and edgy and be willing to say what people were thinking but not openly saying yet has now boiled down to adding to the dog pile. Instead of being the first to make the video, you're the last to make the video now. And it says a lot about what you've become in these last couple of years.
Future. And in closing, I will reiterate so that, you know, there's no ambiguity about it. Anissa and I are no longer involved in Creator.
Woo! Let's go.
We're stepping down completely. We hope that the event is a massive success this year. We hope that all of the fighters get what they wanted out of it. I'm sorry that I'm such a fucking nasty person who just wants to roll around in the shit. I'll put the link to Creator Clash down in the description if you want to support them in their mission to get creators to fight and raise money for charity. You can do that down there. I will be doing that on my own.
Why didn't you talk shit on Harley for dropping out? Because he had exactly the same opinions as Ethan has, and also felt like all of this was super reprehensible and something he didn't want to be associated with. Why didn't you address that? Is it because you want to leave the door open for him to come back to save the event? Because there's still a profit you can make off of him?
I hope you guys have a good time. Also, for all the people who touch grass, I want to remind you to click the like button on this video. Not so it goes in your algorithm or anything, just specifically so that we can add a counter narrative or I can get an idea of how much astroturfing is out there. Because I know that a lot of these fuckers, they love their dislike button extension.
I don't use the dislike button extension, but just for you, Ian, I will dislike this video.
I saw that shit and I was
And
like,
you
what the
should
fuck?
too.
These are all like fabricated numbers. The like-dislike ratio was like 80-20 on my video, and then they tried to create a narrative of like, no, people actually hate this content cop, guys. It's actually so much worse. Like, bitch, like, people were more upset with, like, my wife being on OnlyFans. You're not gonna convince the internet that fucking
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Ethan Klein isn't being a piece of shit. Like, sorry, guys. It doesn't matter how many dislikes.
Why didn't you show the dislikes that were on the content copy? You showed the dislikes that were on the other video, on your whore wife video, but you seemingly omitted showing the actual ratio. You said it was 80-20. It seems like it would be a pretty big slam dunk to put that screenshot up. I don't understand. It's almost like you're telling people to like this video so that it has a better ratio than the content cop has, even though the content cop does have a bad ratio. Kind of strange that you would omit that piece of information if it's so easy to disprove.
Like extensions you have.
We can free Palestine without being a Nazi, okay? Yeah, fuck you guys too, okay? How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
It's blatantly and obviously fucking disingenuous. This shit blew my fucking mind. Like, this is fucking insane. And, like, dangerous. He is going out of his way to slander you as a neo-Nazi. Like, that can get you hurt.
Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are
This is the most effort he put into either of the videos. This is retarded music video where he's dancing in front of a green screen. This is it. This is the comedy of the video. Hitting us with a 2011 friendship ended with Ethan Klein. My new best friend is Azan Baker.
You are the legend. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are my best friend. You are the rent payer. You are the legend.
Oh, hit the orange justice. Hit it. Yeah, hit the Fortnite dance. Yet another. Oh, and that's about it. Yeah, this didn't sway anything in my mind. It's still a piece of dog shit. None of this made any sense. Like, it made sense that you needed to make a video because of how much shit you got for the first one. It just didn't make sense that you would double down on everything and continue to make yourself out to be a little bitch, to be a fool even. And that's about all I've got. So go ahead and go over and dislike the content deputy. That'd be great. And I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.